Shalom, I give all and the glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I give double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations to all you sincere brothers pushing this word out across the four corners of the earth. Just a quick news update. As you can see from this video, where you have millions of Americans being left jobless due to this so-called COVID-19 pandemic crisis. And now you have different food banks and charities set up all across the different cities and states of America are handing out free turkeys and certain produce for people that are in need, especially in this so-called holiday season. And that's beautiful to see. And while I was watching certain of these videos, I couldn't help but notice that it was mostly women that were waiting in these long lines. In certain parts of the cities and states of America, you have people waiting for 10 to 12 hours just to get some free turkeys or certain produce. But it was mostly so-called black women that were waiting in these long lines. And it reminded me in the spirit how Eve and that serpent had that deal together. And that serpent represents Esau because Esau is that cunning, that deceitful, sly person. And Eve bit that apple, which was going to all the different wayward doctrines and philosophies of Esau. Fast forward to nowadays, you see Esau gave the so-called black woman women's liberation. Trickling on down, you see the growth of feminism. So I just couldn't help but notice that Esau is making a breach of contract with that deal that they made in the Garden of Eden. That was that serpent. It's one thing we know, never trust thy enemy. So that serpent, that's that cruel venom of his different philosophies, all his different ideologies, those enticing words that he loves to use in his speeches. So he's making that breach of contract with these women, especially starting with the so-called black woman. So this is Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. As you can see, majority of our women are in that total state of comfort, just being in that spirit of total complacency in their captivity, not knowing or observing the time frames that we are in. So they are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. And you go into one of the synonyms of careless, it means stupid. So ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. And you give ear unto the Most High's speech by adhering to his prophets, his true prophets out there. And as we've been on the highways and the byways, starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and just on down nowadays, we've been warning our people the time frames that we're about to get ready to head to. How Esau's going to come down with our people with that great wrath. And as you can see with this famine coming about, and the word famine simply means a drastic shortage, scarcity. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has appointed the elites of Esau, Edom, to be in charge of the food supply. So Esau orchestrated this so-called pandemic to allow the masses to depend and rely on the government. This was all a bit set up, a bit plan, going to that great reset. So now you see all across the different cities and states of America, these people are waiting in long lines just to get free food. So we can see through the spirit, it's going to be straight turmoil in the streets of America. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. Isaiah 32:10. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And that vintage goes into all the different harvesting. And you notice how Esau gave these women all these freebies, such as Section A, you have WIC, child support, alimony, all this governmental aid. So a lot of our women have depended on that. They have settled their leads by trusting to Esau, Edom, trusting into their oppression, but not knowing that this is the serpent, this is the devil that the Bible speaks about. And he's going to withdraw his hand from that deal or that pact you all made a while back. So many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. So Esau is going to withdraw that deal, that pact you all made in the Garden of Eden. And that leads me to the book of 2nd Esdras, the 8th chapter and the 50th verse. For many great miseries should be done to them, then in the latter times shall dwell in the world. And we are in the latter times right now. We're at the end of an era of this so-called white man's age, his chapter. So many great miseries, because Esau's not going to hand over the kingdom that easy. He's going to go with a great fight. So with that fight, he's going to bring great miseries. And it's all ultimately designed by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Because Esau, Edom, is the modern day Assyrian, pursuant to the book of Isaiah, the 10th chapter and the 5th verse. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, the staff in their hand is my indignation. So we are seeing the wrath of Yahweh Yahushua upon Esau, Edom. So it says, for many great miseries should be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the earth. So miseries goes into turmoil, trials, tribulations, sufferings, afflictions, distresses. That's the time frames that we are coming into. Because they have walked in great pride. And as you see, starting with Esau, Edom, and just trickling on down to majority of our women, they are very prideful. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, he's going to diminish that pride, because the Most High hates a proud person. As it says, why is earth and ashes proud? You have no reason to be proud. And America loves to promote that pride type of spirit. With the Marines, they have the few, the proud, the Marines, the American pride, the gay pride. If you ever have a conversation with someone that's pro-America, and you talk about Russia or China and America going to World War III, they will always say that America will definitely win. No country can defeat America with its military. So this is that great pride, and this is what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua wants. He wants that great pride. He wants these people to be prideful in a top notch. Especially Esau, Edom, he's going to harden their hearts. So the more that Esau, Edom is prideful, that he feels like that he cannot be taken down, it's going to show us through the Spirit just the true power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, so he can get his true respect back on this earth as he truly deserves. So it was just a quick update, as you see, where they have these different food charities and food banks set up, passing out free turkeys and certain produce for these Americans in that time of need, that time of despair. So if it's like this right now, just think about how much when all hell truly break loose in this society. When it's that type of spirit out here, survival of the fittest, every man for himself. And as it says in the scriptures, that many women are going to be trouble in these time frames, unless they with an elect man of the nation of Israel. So again, that was just a quick update through the Spirit. Hope you all was edified. Y'all stay strong. Shalom.